What is going on, everyone? Rick Ucchino here for Sportskeeda once again, joining you to talk about the latest edition of Monday Night Raw. We saw about, 9 or 10 title changes this week. Lana kept her impressive streak going, and it just appears that Team Raw is not going to get along less than 2 weeks away now from that event. So, what did WWE get right this week on the red brand, and what needs a little bit of work? Let's take a look, shall we? And we are going to start again this week with Retribution. Don't look now, but all of a sudden, Mustafa Ali and company are gaining a bit of momentum. For the first time since this group was formed, Retribution got themselves in the win column. Ali and Ricochet had the match of the night, which included an absolutely disgusting backstabber off the top rope that made me jump out of my chair. But Ricochet able to fight back after that. He was able to take out T-Bar, Mace, and Slapjack with a 6-7-20 on the outside. However, the numbers game would catch up. Mustafa Ali would counter a twisting moonsault into a chokehold and get the victory. Look, say what you want about their names, their masks, or that weird eye makeup that T-Bar and Mace slap on every week. The talent is there for this group to really succeed. Mustafa Ali cuts an insanely good promo, we all know that, and as we saw on Monday, he can flat out go with anybody. Mace, T-Bar, with their size and strength and in-ring skill, could be a dominant force in the tag division, and Reckoning, aka Mia Yim, I'll go ahead and say it, is a future women's champ. Y'all catch that shot she took at Asuka in her promo this week? Maybe, just maybe, there's hope for this group yet. Just keep winning. Alright, something that needs some work. Y'all, this 24/7 title picture, it ain't working anymore. Things were a little bit better this week than what we've seen as of late. We actually had guys winning the championship by performing actual wrestling moves, not just the small package of doom. But for the most part, this whole gimmick has just gotten stale, and it's time to either scrap it or give it a revamp. Look, R-Truth is a national treasure. We all know this. He can turn anything into gold, but more often than not, what we're seeing out of guys like Truth and Drew Gulak is just the rinse and repeat of a distraction, a roll-up, and a title change. WWE, by the way, has the formula to make this thing a success. They know what they have to do. Right now, they're trying to make a PG version of the old hardcore title work. But the problem is, it's just not working. I'm not saying you have to go all the way back to the days of Raven pushing around a shopping cart full of weapons, but wrestlers not being any more creative than sneaking up behind the champ and rolling them up is insulting to the audience. Right now, not a lot of people are invested in this title, and I don't blame them. I'm not either. By the way, I do feel really bad for Tucker. My dude splits from Otis just to find himself in the 24/7 title picture 2 weeks later. Remind me again why they split up Heavy Machinery? Please, no, seriously, remind me. Why did they split up Heavy Machinery? Moving on. Back to the good. These backstage segments between Drew McIntyre and Sheamus are getting pretty interesting, and it's got me wondering where things are going to go. Clearly, these two real-life friends want to work with one another now that they're on the same brand. Cool. The question is, are they going to be allies or enemies? Sheamus clearly wants his friend to fight alongside him, whether that's because he wants to relive the duo's glory days or he wants to piggyback off of McIntyre's recent success. I'm not sure. I'm also not sure how many times the Celtic Warrior can be shut down before he takes things personally. McIntyre clearly focused on getting his WWE Championship back, and he has his opportunity next week. But these backstage conversations between he and Sheamus are being filmed for a reason. While those two could be a welcome force in the tag division, I have a hunch Sheamus will find a way to cost Drew the match next week against Randy Orton as payback for not joining the Survivor Series team. I could be wrong, but regardless, I'm intrigued. Speaking of Sheamus, and the rest of Team Raw for that matter, anyone else notice that there's a bit of a theme to the team this year? I'll clue you in. 4 of these dudes were on SmackDown just last month. When Keith Lee who is still relatively fresh off of his NXT call-up as the elder statesman of Team Raw, that just doesn't seem right. Where are all the guys that carried the red brand through the pandemic era? That's what I asked myself. And then I thought about it. Well, okay, let's see. Randy Orton is the WWE Champion, so he's booked. Drew McIntyre facing Randy Orton next week for the title, so he theoretically could be booked. Bobby Lashley, the current US Champion, so he's booked. Then look over on Team SmackDown. Oh hey, there's Seth Rollins, and there's Kevin Owens. So yeah, what I originally thought was just bad booking decisions turns out is just an overall flaw of having Survivor Series too close to the draft. Maybe move the draft or scrap the brand versus brand concept at Survivor Series, because right now I'm not sure why any members of Team Raw care about this match, which is maybe why they've been spending more time fighting with each other. And finally this week, one of the top segments for me again featured Alexa Bliss. After being scared out of the Thunderdome by demon-possessed Alexa last week, Nikki Cross stumbled upon playful Funhouse Alexa picking flower petals backstage. In another callback segment this week, Nikki Cross apologized for leaving Alexa alone in the ring several weeks back following her loss to Billie on SmackDown. That of course left Bliss vulnerable, and then the Fiend preyed on Little Miss Bliss for the first time. Nikki said if she had just been a better friend, none of this would have happened. And I think I speak for everyone when I say, thanks for being a bad friend, Nikki. Alexa and Bray have been doing fantastic, masterful work together, and how dare you feel sorry for giving that to us? Anywho, back to storyline mode here. Nikki gives Alexa an ultimatum. She says choose her or the Fiend, and Alexa gleefully chooses him over her now former best friend. We may not have seen Bray on Monday, but using Alexa and Nikki to drive this storyline forward was a very good call. I personally am not giving up hope that this wasn't Nikki's final chapter in the story. This could be WWE tying up loose ends from old storylines, or this could be the start of something new, and I am hoping for the latter. And I'm hoping sooner rather than later, Nikki returns to the dark side and aligns herself with both Bray and Alexa.